We're now at question 19 of our business analysis sample paper. So let's read through it and see what we can identify. We go through our little process again. We look for the techniques or the area of knowledge. We look for keywords. We look at the context of the situation, and we see how we can connect those two together. We read the instructions very carefully to ensure that we know how to answer the question. We read our options because our options often identify what is being asked of us too. And then we apply what we know of what we've learned from our studies, and you'll see that very easily the answer then gets revealed to us. Okay, so let's first read through it to get an overview. It says, Dynamo Limited have identified a gap in the market for their products. Sam has been asked to take responsibility for the business case for developing a new product to fit the gap. Which of the following should Sam do? Select all that apply. Then we have A, undertake a feasibility study before creating the business case. We have B, which is confirm the business case once costs are confirmed. C, ensure the benefits realized match those in the business case. And D, revisit the business case before the new product is launched. Okay, so from the context of this question and from the multiple keywords used through the actual question itself and the answers, we can see very clearly that this answer is in relation to the business case. So we know that part of the business analysis service framework, one of the categories, one of the services that are offered by business analysts is the development of a business case. And also the feasibility assessment is tied to that too, because contextually they very often just go together with each other during assignments. So let's see what the context is and see if we can see anything else, identify anything else from this. So we can see that Dynamo Limited, so this is the organization. What you'll find is that within a lot of these questions, they will have the name of the organization, the business or the company, in this fictitious scenario, and then they will have the name of the consultant, which is more often than not the business analyst. So you have to tie those two, that relationship between the organization and the business analyst together, because you need to know how the business analyst would be serving the organization in this context. So if we know that Dynamo Limited is the organization and Sam is the business analyst because he's been asked to take responsibility for the business case for developing a new product to fit the gap, we can see that this is where the relationship is. And Dynamo Limited have identified a gap in the market for their products. Now just when you see a keyword such as gap like this, just remember that a question like this can be a little bit ambiguous because this is not in the context of gap analysis. This is speaking about a gap in the market. So a gap in the market is an opportunity. This is where strategically maybe Dynamo Limited have seen this gap in the market for their products and they now want to improve on their products. They may want to develop new products, but they want to enter the specific gap. They want to dominate that gap because they've seen that this is a place where they can expand their product range or such. But now Sam has been asked to take responsibility for the business case for developing new products to fit the gap. So here we go. We can see contextually that this Dynamo Limited needs to create new products that are going to serve customers within that gap in the market. Okay, and Sam needs to take responsibility for the business case. So he's going to be presenting the solutions for these particular products. And here we're saying, which of the following should Sam do? And select all that apply. So the instructions here are indicating that there's not just one answer here. It's more than one. It could be two. It could be three. It's very unlikely that it'll be four because there'll always be a distractor answer, an incorrect answer. And in this case, it looks like we need to select 2 or 3. So we just bear that in mind when we're answering this question. But contextually here, we can see that what it's asking us for, if you read all of these options, is these are all actions that a business analyst or business consultant will take when interacting with a business case, because it's got that keyword in there. It's saying we undertake a feasibility study before creating the business case. We confirm the business case once the costs are confirmed. We ensure the benefits are realized, match those in the business case, and we revisit the business case before the product is launched. So these are all actions that are related to the business case. These are things that Sam needs to do when he's taking responsibility for the business case. And what do we know about the business case? We need to know very clearly as business analysts what to do when it comes to a business case. We need to know the structure of a business case. We need to know the purpose of it. We need to know what needs to be done, what context it fits into place here. Because the business case is an extremely important document to an organization, and it is one of the core responsibilities. It's one of the main things that you will be asked as a business analyst to do, is to construct or oversee a business case through a certain project. So let's have a look through these specific actions here and see if any of these are correct or incorrect in terms of what we know about a business case. So the first thing is undertake a feasibility study before creating the business case. So this, you should know from your studies, is that almost always we carry out a feasibility assessment before we create the business case. Because in a business case, we're presenting solutions, and before we present those solutions, we need to see if these solutions are aligned to the organization. Why would you want to go into a meeting or some proposal where you are now presenting these solutions and these options to a bunch of stakeholders in a board meeting room or in whichever format that you're presenting to them, but you're saying, this is what I've found, this is the solution, or these are the solutions, this is my suggested solution. And they're saying that's fantastic, but in terms of feasibility, it's not going to work because we know that we don't have the money to do this. We don't have, it's not going to align with the organization's technology. Maybe culturally it's not going to fit in. There's all kinds of perspectives we need to look at in terms of feasibility. So that's why a feasibility assessment needs to be done before a business case is presented to the organization and created. So this A is a very valid option here. So A is definitely one of the right options that we need to select. B, it says confirm the business case once costs are confirmed. So this is also correct because we know that in a business case, we need to carry out cost-benefit analysis. So we need to look at the costs of all the solutions that are being proposed or presented to an organization, and we need to confirm those costs. And we'd often do this through maybe a investment appraisal using techniques such as a payback calculation, the internal rate of return or net present value calculations. So we can use these calculations to look at these various solutions to see if they are financially acceptable. So we need to confirm these costs and confirm the business case. So the business case, if you think of it in terms of the general context, it's seen as the justification for the project. And if we know that we can justify the project from a business case, and we can justify the costs of the project, we know that it is a viable option. It's a viable solution. And those costs, the cost-benefit analysis and the cost analysis, those calculations that we do, that we've been taught in our business analysis studies for all of the options that we're now presenting to these stakeholders, we will confirm those costs and we'll put it in one of those sections of this document, the business case, which in an overall perspective forms the justification for the project. So B is also a valid answer here. Now C, it says, ensure the benefits are realized. Just give me a moment. Ensure the benefits are realized, match those in the business case. Okay, so we may include information about the benefits in the business case, such as when we are establishing what returns of investment from a quantitative, monetary and economic perspective. What are we going to be getting in return if we use this particular solution? We'll often include the benefits in the business case, and we'll use them in our calculations. But here it's saying, ensure the benefits are realized, match those in the business case. So now what it's talking about is that in benefits realization in a project is right at the end of the project. It's literally when we have now implemented we've developed, we've done our business analysis, we've decided on a solution, we've now created a project, we're now going through this project, developing the solution, whether it be a software product, it could be some other change, a process change or such, but it would form part of a project in an organization. We would have to do certain things and plan things and make changes in the organization in order to implement this change or create the solution. And the business case will be prevalent during the project. We'll have to look at the business case to continue its justification to see if this project is on track. Because if one of these options that is part of a project and we're moving through the project and at some point we look back at the business case and we go, something's changed here where the justification for this project doesn't exist anymore, then we need to seriously consider thinking about closing the project. But once we've finished the project, we've implemented the project, we've deployed it, the solution is now being used by the organization in the business as usual context, and maybe the project has even been closed down. That is the point of benefits realization. That's when we are truly realizing the benefits of this project. We're now measuring these benefits and we're going, oh, this is correct, this is great, this is exactly what the case is. But in terms of the business case, once we've actually received those benefits, why would we need to go back to the business case to see if this is the case? We've already realized the benefits. So C is not a viable option for us. D, it says, revisit the business case before the new product is launched. Okay, so this, as I was speaking earlier, in terms of the business change lifecycle, contextually, this is a much more viable option here, because it's saying that we are looking back at the business case before the project is launched. We are still in the life cycle of development. We are still in the project, so we still are checking to see if the development of the solution is a viable solution, and the business case is regularly reviewed throughout the project. But once the project is closed, then the justification for the project ceases to exist. Therefore, we don't need to look back at benefits as they're being realized and such. There's other documentation, there's other activities in project management that does that. But for in this context, the true activities of a business case and how it fits into the business analysis or the project life cycle, the correct answers here, the correct actions that Sam will take for Dynamo Limited would be A, B, and D here. So I hope that's given you some more information about how to answer a question where they ask you about the actions that take place in a business case. And I hope that this information will help you too. So in the next question, we'll be doing the final question in the series, which is question 20. And I hope to see you there. Goodbye.